Hi there, it's Kathy here. I hope you're enjoying the videos. Please like or subscribe. It's really important to me to get some feedback that I'm giving people what they need. So please like or subscribe to my videos. Okay, this video, I want to show you something called conditional columns. Last video, we looked at custom columns, which is formulas, mainly arithmetic, row by row basis. A conditional column, I guess the closest thing I can equate it to is an if statement that again is working on a row by row basis. They call it row iteration in Power Query. So to demonstrate conditional columns, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take you to the total sales query. And I'm going to refresh it only because it's asking me to. And what I'd like to do is go to add column and show you how to add a conditional column, this option here. Now, when this comes up, because I've chose add, it says, what do you want to name this column? Well, I want to call it sales groups. So I'm wanting to classify or group or bin my data into various groups that says whether that particular sale was a top seller or it was just a popular brand. So what I'm saying here is if the total sales column is greater than or equal to 20,000, then that is what we call a top seller. But if, so I add a clause, else if the total sales is greater than or equal to 10,000, that is what we call a popular brand. Otherwise, we just simply call it a standard seller. So I'm wanting to put my sales into groups. Was it a top seller? Was it a popular brand? Or was it just a standard? So it's an if statement, but with a user-friendly interface. And so when I go OK, anything that is above 20,000 shows as a top seller. Anything that was above 10,000 is a popular brand. Otherwise, it's just a standard sale. Let's look at making another conditional column. I'd like to, for example, create a conditional column that shows financial quarters. And let's say my financial quarters are quite different from the calendar quarters. Let's say, for example, that my financial year begins in the month of April. So April, May, and June would be my first quarter, July, August, and September my second, and so on. Okay, let's go for add column, conditional column. And we're going to call this column financial quarters. Here's our if statement. If the month equals April, then that is QTR1, the first quarter. And I'm just going to take a copy of that. Add a clause. If the month equals May, then that's the first quarter. Add a clause. If the month equals June, that's also the first quarter. But add a clause, if the month equals July, then that is actually a second quarter, and I'll take a copy of that. Add a clause, if the month is equal to July, August, second quarter, month equals September. Make sure that your month is spelled correctly or this won't work. That's the second quarter. Now we're on to our third quarter. If the month equals October, then that is the third quarter. Take a copy of that. Add a clause. If the month equals November, that's also a third quarter. And now lastly, we're on to our fourth quarter. If the month is equal to, oh no, we've still got one more third quarter. Do that. Now we're on to our fourth quarter. If the month is equal to January, then that is our fourth quarter. Take a copy of that. And last three, if the month is equal to February, then that is also fourth quarter. And lastly, if the month equals March, then that is a fourth quarter. Otherwise, I might just show a dash because it means that we don't have a month entered. And so if we don't have a month entered, we can't establish a quarter, so we really just want to show a dash. And so I'll go okay to that. And so we've created another conditional column that works out what the financial quarter is dependent on the month, and it's unique to your organization. Now, what I might also do is click the data type and say, actually, this is text. So choose the text option, and then we've changed the data type to be more exact and more explicit that that is a text, and that's best practice. I'd now like to create another column, but this is a custom column. No, actually a conditional column. Let's go to orders 1997. Let's go add column, and let's start with a conditional column. And what I want to basically say is if the net sales is greater than or equal to 1,000, then they're entitled to a 10% discount. So I'm going to call this column discount. And I'll say if net is greater than or equal to 1,000, let's give them a 10% discount. So I'm going to go 10%. Otherwise, just give them 0. And I could put percent. And if I go OK, I've basically created a column which is showing either a 0 or 10%, but it's not formatting it correctly. So I'm going to hit the data type and actually say, look, this is a percentage. So it shows 0% if the net sales is less than 1,000, but here in the case of 1,600, they get a 10% discount because they bought a lot. Now so that's a conditional column because this is like an if statement. Now let's go back to creating custom columns like we did in the earlier video. Now I want to say that the gross sales is the net sales times 1 plus the discount. So custom column. This column is called gross. And this column, square bracket, is the net times bracket 1 plus square bracket the discount. So that proves that you can create calculations using earlier calculations that you created. So calculations can be done with calculations. They flow on and then close bracket. So that's my gross. It's my net times and added to my discount and okay. And that's my gross sales. That I'm going to change the data type to a fixed decimal number. That gross I might actually drag it and put it in front of net. So that's my gross, that's my net, and that's my unit price and my discount. So I hope that clarifies on the add column tab in the ribbon how you can create custom columns. And if you need sort of like an if statement situation, you can create conditional columns as well. There is the ability to also create things like index columns. If I just go to the left here, I might decide, oh, look, I need to add a unique number to each record in this query. So if I went to index column and I hit the drop down, I can create an index column starting from 0 or starting from 1. Let's say I say starting from 1. So at the very end here, if I go to my transform and I move that to the beginning, I now have at the beginning a column called index, which is numbering each one of my records from 1 to sequentially incrementing by 1 to the bottom. If I decided, no, I want my index to start from 1,001, then I would probably delete that step and delete that step. I would go back to add column, create an index column, but create a custom index column. And I'll say, look, starting from 1,001 and incrementing in steps of 1, create an index column. And so when I go OK, I've now got a column that's called index that I can then go to transform and move to the beginning, which is now numbering each one of my records, starting with 1,001 and incrementing in ones. So that's what the index column does. So we've had a look at custom, we've had a look at conditional, we've had a look at index. You can also duplicate a column for whatever reason makes sense to you. If I needed to duplicate this column, I literally would just select it and duplicate it. And so it's made a copy of index, which I can then go to transform and move to the beginning. So it's easy enough to duplicate a column for whatever reason. And so in the next video, we'll have a look at what you can do with these custom columns, for example. Sorry, these column from examples. But those 3 buttons and the custom one, we've had a look at. I'm just going to delete that step, reorder them, and remove the duplicated, and just leave it at that. Reorder column 1, that's fine, just like that. So save your Power BI file and apply your changes to Power BI and come back for the next video.